To soy or not to soy? That's the question. It comes in a variety of forms, from tofu to edamame to milk and a host of other items. But we've sort of received mixed messages when it comes to this little bean. It's a great source of plant-based protein, but can too much be a bad thing? Natural health care expert Mark Mincola is here to sort out the confusion. Mark, specifically, you looked at a study involving soy and the fact that it can be particularly helpful to menopausal women. Why is that?
Well, Lily, I think it's the isoflavones. There's one in particular called genistein. And genistein is an antioxidant naturally occurring in things like soy and flax as well, by the way. A lot of different natural greens, mustard greens, these things all have these natural antioxidant supports that are sort of producing these mimicking kind of almost a faux type of estrogen, a plant-based estrogen that really seems to help with hot flashes.
So how much of it are you supposed to take in order to get the benefits of it?
Well, this recent study from this month, University of Delaware, University of Minnesota combined study, indicates 54 milligrams can actually reduce hot flash severity by as much as 26%. So we're talking about 2 cups of soy milk.
You know, when you talk about these, the fact that soy is kind of a plant-based estrogen-like substance, can that throw off the hormonal balance for the rest of us? Is this a positive thing for people who are not in that stage of their life yet?
Well, you know, I think that it has kind of a natural equilibrium effect. In other words, we're talking about something that seems to know how to find its own natural balance. It is something that can actually be cleansed from the body just as easily as it can be absorbed if needed, because it is a food-grade substance. We're talking about an estrogen that's very, very mild. It's 1/2000th as concentrated as animal-based estrogens.
Now, when it comes to allergens, a lot of times you'll see on different labels, you know, has no dairy, has no wheat, and now you're seeing has no soy. So why is it that some people are avoiding soy?
Well, that's actually a great question. I think that's really the key, is that we're talking about one of the 8 primary allergens. You mentioned dairy, you mentioned things like egg yolks and wheat, for example. These are among the 8 primaries. Soy is, we have to keep that in mind, very beneficial for a lot of folks, as we're here from this study, but it's also one of the primary 8 allergens. So if somebody is sensitive to soy, all bets are off.
When it comes to trying to balance everything, since you can find some of those beneficial components in other foods, should you try to mix in other foods aside from just soy if you're in that menopausal time of your life?
Well, that's also a great assessment as well. I think you're absolutely right. The idea that a lot of these greens, like the mustard greens, for example, we talked about, flax, a lot of folks are using flax seeds in their diet now. These are additional ways to help support these sort of supportive plant-based estrogens in the system nutritionally. So soy really needs to be rotated. I think that's a great idea.
And some of the other things that I mentioned were, you know, the tofu, the edamame, and the soy milk. But there are other places to get soy too. Where do you recommend people go if they want to figure out, you know, how do I even begin to incorporate this into my diet?
Well, and for starters, for folks who don't want to use soy, there are isoflavone supplements, 1,000 milligram isoflavone supplements that have all the benefits of the genistein and the isoflavones that we talked about. So that's one way that folks could go. But you're absolutely right. There's other foods as well. I mean, there's tofu. There's different smoothie recipes out there these days. There's soy protein shakes and food replacement powders. So soy is really pretty easy to find a way around these days. But again, folks can use the isoflavone supplements if they choose not to.
Mark Mincola, thanks for joining us. Another resource is your website,
maxhealing.com.
Fox 25 Morning News at 9 starts now.